Hey everybody, this is Versus episode 46. I am JWMaher. That is Will Cohen. You are catching us near the beginning of our travels through the ITN distribution movies we didn't catch. But before we get into today's pick, Will, how you doing this evening?
Well, we didn't have to watch the next chapter in the Telephobia series. So you know what? I was doing great. Um, I mean, I did still have to watch this film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not related to last we watched Ouija House, right? Not really. This movie is not related to Ouija House, but chronologically in the ITN pantheon, this is the next movie.
right.
It's Ouija Geist.
I found it buried in my garden.
I must say it's in nice condition considering.
Do you think I could get much for it then?
Witchboards. Mumbo jumbo stuff. Best not to play with it though.
Do you believe in curses, man?
Of course I don't believe in curses, and neither should you. It's bloody rubbish. It's just bad luck.
And you really believe that a ghost did that? Do you know how mad that sounds?
You say that there was a spirit board?
Yes, but it's just a toy, isn't it?
Dabbling with such things is no game.
Don't believe it's the devil, do you?
Mrs. Harper, in order to believe in one, you must believe in the other.
So that was Ouijageist. I will say at the top, this is a show where we we don't necessarily know every movie we review is going to be like the worst movie of all time. We are aiming for the worst movies of all time, which is why we're going through these ITN movies. While this is not the worst movie of all time, it is not good, but it is not horrible. Well,
Like this film was not the absolute assault of the assault on the offenses on like assault on the senses, or it wasn't like absolutely offensive in any way, shape, or form. Unlike the last like three films that we've reviewed on here, but that's because this is like just aiming to be as aggressively mid as humanly possible. That doesn't really give us anything to talk about. It's like it's going to be as fun as as kicking air. Like
yeah.
it's not even like there's nothing even to kick.
Yeah, this is a typical, like, if you've seen like any good movie about a Ouija board, that's what the plot is here. They just make no attempt to have. I don't know if they recorded scenes that made sense, but they definitely edited it to not make sense, because the way the movie goes is the cold open. There's a guy, and he goes into a barn where there's like a dead body, and he grabs a Ouija board. And then runs off into the wilderness with it. And then there's a guy watching him. And then he finally stops and throws the Ouija board under some brush, and he falls down laughing. And then we have the
in a
title
hole.
card. Oh yeah,
It needs to be said. He had previously dug a hole on right beside this brush, and this partially buried board is just sitting there like in the ground, and he just starts laughing insidiously.
yeah, and while like most cold opens for horror movies, like somebody dies or something horrible happens, this I guess is exposition, but fuck if I know what's going on. Like, because then we come back, and that opening scene, they make pains to tell you took place in Switzerland. However, this guy that disappeared, who was a nobody, like of any note in Switzerland, is being covered on a British newscast.
Today, his 32-year-old Swiss banker, Tobias Bachmann, is still missing after allegedly killing 6 people.
And then that same Ouija board shows up in the backyard of this random girl in England who has just bought a house. There's no connection between the guy who in the beginning and her. Except for, I guess, maybe the figure that's following this guy around, but that's not explained. I'm doing more explanation in that one sentence than this whole movie does in 80 minutes.
Yeah, there's like we have like no information, like, or at least very, very little information about like what this guy from Switzerland is, is like. We don't know his history is. We just know that he's a banker from Switzerland who allegedly killed like 6 people, something like that. And then all of a sudden, this single mother with a maybe 2-year-old, like she's definitely carrying a stroller. All of a sudden, we see her.
The baby's like a barely toddler. It's a barely toddler baby.
Yeah, she like we see her like randomly getting a job at a pet store, and then we like next see her like drinking with her friend.
So then he was like, well, the animals seem to like you. And that was it.
Well, things looking up, aren't they? New house, new job. We just need to sort you out with a new fella.
Which is a weird thing to do when you have a toddler at home. But yeah, we have no information about this, this woman beyond her name and, beyond her name, marital status, and, she has a kid.
That's basically it.
Where she works. So like, she's not a banker. She's going to be, she worked at Tesco once, which is a grocery store. And now she's, now she's going to work at a pet store. Not an exotic pet store. They make sure that this is not an exotic pet store.
It's just a regular ass pet store.
Just a regular standard pet store.
Well, it's a good job I don't keep exotic pets here. We are strictly traditional pets factory.
Which they do more to explain what kind of pets they have than this entire movie explains the plot.
Yeah, it's like a working class British neighborhood apparently, because nothing looks too. It's like a suburb, but kind of like a poorer suburb, I guess. I don't freaking know. Whatever. I'm again doing more explaining than the movie does. Her and the friend do touch the Ouija board. Like they don't like necessarily fuck around and find out. They just like, oh, this is how it works, and that's it.
How many children will Rebecca and Nathan have?
And then that's enough for like the car's out, the car alarm's outside to go off, and doors are opening. And then the friend goes to take a leak, and she falls down the stairs. She just falls down the stairs. And dies in the hospital. We don't even need to like drag that. She falls down the stairs, and then you think somebody else dies, but there's a funeral, but it's because the friend died in the hospital.
Right.
Whatever. Because they lead you to believe the baby gets killed, because the baby, like, there's a scene where the baby is like drawn upstairs and the bath turns on by itself and it's steaming hot water, and the baby crawls into the bathroom and the door slams shut, and the girl and her mother are like trying to get into the bathroom. And then it cuts to a funeral. Like, holy fuck, they killed a baby? But no, it was just a friend.
You see, at least I would have given us something interesting to talk about. It's like, let this be a lesson. Don't be a single parent in an ITN film. But they're aggressively going safe.
Yeah, that baby, better actor than both of Chrissy won as kids. I was going to say that baby, much better actor. Put that out there.
Yeah, I mean that's a very low bar to clear. Like that baby can like crawl over that bar.
Hell, that baby crawled
that bar is not even like above ground.
Baby crawled in the right direction, and I believed it.
There we go.
And yeah, all the deaths in this movie are accidents. Like then a guy comes over the house to like, I don't know what he's doing. It's like a metal roof, and he's like just wiping it down. And there's nothing wrong with the roof, and he falls off a ladder and dies. So there's that. Her dog dies. Like she finds the dog's head. Whatever. I'm just speed running this movie. There's a she has the baby daddy who like is negligent, and then she's like kind of rightfully pissed off at the dude for being absent, and then but he has money, so they go to get like tea, and then he gets like possessed and drinks the scalding water, and I guess he dies.
Oh, that was boiling.
And then there's like a weird priest character who's quoting The Usual Suspects. And then what else does he say? Poltergeist. But he basically makes it sound like Poltergeist 2 is a better movie than Poltergeist. Like, what the fuck? Like, right there, stop. Like,
Have you seen the film Poltergeist?
The one with the clown in the tree.
That's it, 1982. But did you ever see Poltergeist 2? Oh, you must.
That also happens. That's like the weirdest like side conversation in the movie. The priest who's just like quoting, he quotes The Usual Suspects, and he goes in this big speech about Poltergeist and Poltergeist 2. It's so out of place.
I mean, this. To be fair, like that scene alone, at least, was something to talk about.
Yeah.
But despite the fact that the priest is 100% out of pocket, it just goes back to being milquetoast after that.
Yeah, because then like the neighbor, I don't know if he's the neighbor or if he's just like the property manager or whatever. He's like this guy Larry, and I guess he might be the shadowy character that's going throughout the movie.
Maybe.
I guess is what they want you to think. And then he pulls out the Ouija board with her, and then it just kind of goes right into the end where all the characters that had died are now like zombies.
Becca.
And they're attacking. I think her name's Karen. I don't even know what her name is. And she kills, like she breaks the Ouija board, and she's like beating the people with the Ouija board. And then she goes to a cemetery, trips and falls. The Ouija board comes back together. The Ouija board goes back in the box. But now I guess Karen is trapped in the box.
Get out! My life! Leave me alone! Get out!
And we never see her again. And then it's like Karen's missing, and the movie ends. It's like, thanks for nothing.
Yeah, like the weirdest thing about this movie is that it's called Ouijageist, but no one calls it a fucking Ouija board.
It's a witch board. They mentioned it's a witch board, and they mentioned the movie Poltergeist. So the movie should be Witch Board Geist.
So it's like, I just don't understand. Like, is Ouija like a copyright? Like, I know that like Milton Bradley owns, the proper Ouija board, but is Ouija board like a full copyright?
I think the word Ouija isn't copyrighted. I have no idea. You're asking. These are great questions. I just happen to have no idea.
I mean, there's so many movies that have Ouija in the name of it, so I can't assume that it is copyrighted. So, but why aren't they fucking saying it?
I don't know. The last movie said it, right? Like Ouija House said it, right? I don't know. These are great questions. I don't know, but I do want to say one more thing since we have basically officially run out of things to say about this movie. Let's do what we do sometimes and talk about this box art. This has nothing to do with the fucking movie at all. Like, this does not, like, whatever this is doesn't happen in the movie.
First, can we acknowledge the fact that Ouija isn't spelled with a Q?
Yeah, Ouijageist.
What the fuck happened here? Like
this is like an AI. This is like when AI was still in its infancy. There's no 6-armed demon in this movie. There's nobody floats. Like this is crazy.
yeah, no one becomes death, the destroyer of worlds in this. It's just we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what
But
time it is? It's this time. Despite all my complaints, there's nothing technically wrong with this movie. It's just a mediocre concept executed mediocrely. So I'm gonna give it a 2. Stuff happens. Like the decapitated dog is cool. Well,
I'll also give this 2 videotapes. Kind of like what John said, like it's really horrible that the bar is set at meh. And as long as you're clearing the absolute dog shit just to hit meh, I don't necessarily want to reward that. But it also didn't anger me. It doesn't make me want to cancel people. It doesn't make me want to slap people in the face. It makes me scratch my head. But there are mainstream movies that make me scratch my head. So it's like, great job in aiming exactly middle ground and for once hitting your target.
That's a great description. That it is like if this movie was aiming to be this movie, it succeeded in being this movie. So I will reward that with 2 stars all day. That being said, next week it's a little movie called Island Zero. Island Zero, about people off the coast of Maine who get cut off on an island. The ferry stops running and weird shit happens. Can't wait to see how that goes. That's happening next week here on Versus. If you made it this far in the video, though, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Go over to Letterboxd. Join the Letterboxd challenge. Do that. We appreciate that. Schedule here is the same. Monday Versus, you're watching it. Thursday, Why We Love Horror. Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia. 2 episodes every Friday. We'll drop a few special editions here and there. We'll drop other shows as they come along. But until next time, I am JWMaher, and that is Will Cohen, and this has been Versus.